Thanks for making it braving the Bangalore traffic, because of which many more attendees are on their way. So, but then we can't wait. So we will start off with the program for the day. We'll have the panel discussion after the presentation from Quadra Systems. So this event is being organized by DataQuest as part of the DataQuest CIO Series 2015 in partnership with Quadra Systems. Quadra is a Microsoft partner. We'll get to hear more about what they do. Just to kick the program off, so we are going to talk about enterprise mobility at various levels. Quadra's presentation will have many more details in terms of how they are enabling enterprises get onto the enterprise mobility curve. And just a few initial remarks. Enterprise mobility, it is not a technology term. I would say it is not a technology term. During the course of, I teach at a few B schools in Mumbai on the topic of information management and dynamics of IT and stuff like that. And the set of students that are there, they are all millennial students. And when I talk about, the change in IT, when I talk about, we are at the threshold, or we are in the midst of a dramatic change in IT, and IT is now, enterprise IT is now digital IT. And this change is so phenomenal, it is unimaginable. Those guys are not able to get it. Why am I so animated? Why am I stressing it so much? Because they don't know about the old stuff. So in that vein, I have to simplify topics that are there bandied about in the industry, stuff like SMAC and things like that. So as part of that, I get asked, what exactly is enterprise mobility? I mean, is it a technology that I can buy and use? So if you look at the definition of enterprise mobility, it is not a technology term at all. Enterprise mobility is nothing but a trend of work moving beyond the office, moving beyond the enterprise. And to enable that, we have a set of technologies that helps us make work mobile. I just happened to go through very interesting research on what's happening in the area of enterprise mobility. Some of the findings are very interesting. At least as data points, they're very interesting takeaways. So the research says that in 2015, the number of mobile workers in the world would surpass 1.3 billion workers. 1.3 billion workers. So that's as good as the population of India. So that many number of mobile workers are there as of 2015. Because of this kind of a volume of mobile workers, 54% of the highest performing IT teams have already been deployed to create new age stuff like enterprise app stores and all, and 25% of the IT teams have been deployed to modernize old applications and make them mobile ready. So these are very significant numbers. 54% and 25%. Now, where is the proof that enterprise mobility, really helps organizations? Because we get to see the other side of it. We complain about lack of work-life balance, and there is no work-life balance now. But when you look at it from an organizational point of view, the research says that enterprise apps boost worker productivity by more than 34%. That is more than a third of, more than one-third of improvement in workforce productivity, which actually translates to about 240 hours of work per year, which leads to 6 additional work weeks per year. So organizations that enable mobile worker productivity gain 6 additional work weeks per year. 6 additional work weeks is really good. It's like 1.5 months of more work that gets done. But everything is not hunky-dory. 45% of the IT departments that handle enterprise mobility, that are handling enterprise mobility, 45% of them fail to meet business expectations. Now, failing to meet business expectations, it means, it could mean a variety of things. It could mean insufficient number of apps. It could mean bad quality of apps, because when you have a mobile app, it has to be of consumer quality. It has to have that kind of intuitive, it can't be like, you know how Oracle screens used to be in 2000. I have personally used, and I've never seen such a dumber system. Sorry, you're an Oracle partner. Such a unintuitive menu than that. So apps have to have that good consumer experience. It has to be done within the cost and the budget. You can't embark on a 24-month mobility app development project. The average time taken for developing a mobile app is between 8 weeks to 18 weeks. 8 weeks to 18 weeks. So that's how short the time frame is. And the average cost per app is $100,000. So these are small projects. These are not necessarily projects that you would farm out to a TCS or an Infosys. So one app is $100,000. So that's the kind of thing, but then there are so many of these things to be done. And as I said, 54% of the IT department, top performing IT teams are engaged in doing this. So what's the volume. So in terms of, as a trend, I just use these numbers to characterize this as a trend, and so there is no question about, whether, when is the time, should we do it or not. So those are not questions to be, handled. So, that's kind of a brief segue into the topic. So as I said, we will have the panel discussion after the presentation. I would now like to invite Mr. Bright Augustus. He's the lead for the productivity transformation group at Quadra, and look forward to engaging presentation from Bright.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to see some faces that are familiar to me, while there are new faces, and thanks for coming. We are here to show you a demo of Office 365, which is the productivity suite from Microsoft, and Azure, which is the platform, the cloud platform from Microsoft. But before I launch into the demo with my colleague Vinu, who has been doing wonderful services to a lot of enterprise customers here in Bangalore, and he has been a very important resource in leading a team of people in Quadra who have involved themselves in making available the cloud technology to many enterprises in Bangalore. We also operate in Chennai and Coimbatore, and many of you know what we do. As a company, we are Microsoft Gold Certified partners. We are Gold Certified for Cloud Platform, which is Azure, and Cloud Productivity, which is Office 365. We were the first Cloud Accelerate partner for Microsoft in India. And since cloud came into being about 7 years ago, earlier it was named with a very funny name, Business Productivity Information Suite or something like that,
BPOS.
Right? BPOS. And then later on came the name Office 365. And then for the past 2-3 years, Azure has been gaining ground. So we have been helping many customers to realize the benefit of the cloud, especially Microsoft Cloud. And there are a lot of other cloud technology service providers apart from Microsoft, but Microsoft has been making big strides into these the technologies that enterprise really want. Okay. Now, talking about Office 365, which is a productivity suite that I told you, we are going to show you how people can expect Office 365 to help them do better when it comes to everyday productivity. So I'm going to show you something here with Vinu, and we're going to start with the demo right away. The reason being, say, we have limited connectivity at the hotel, and so we wanted to make the best of the time that is available, and that is why we have jumped into the demo. And thanks to DQ for giving us this opportunity. Thanks to Microsoft for giving us this opportunity. Thanks to all of you coming in. So let's start with the demo, and I am going to start with right, mobility. The very reason why people would want to go to Office 365 is it enables them to work from anywhere. Now, Office is no more a place where we go to work to. I believe all of you agree with me, right? It is no more a place to go and work. All the previous generation would always start out to work and reach an office, and then start working from there. And then close down their work and walk back to their residences, right? But not anymore. We have broken that boundary, and we have given access to Office, which is people, information, and data, and all of those to people from anywhere, anytime, any device, any browser. So much freedom that people can work where they are. And so Office 365 is something that enables them to access all these information from wherever they are through any device. So we're going to start with one demo of OneDrive for Business, all right? And OneDrive for Business is one place where people can go and store their files, all right, on the cloud, and share it seamlessly with people inside and even outside the organization. And the space that is being allowed for every subscriber in Office 365 is 1 terabyte. So much space, which is unimaginable when you think about providing such kind of storage locally, whether in a laptop or even at a data center. Not possible many times, but Office 365 gives you so much space so that you can put all your documents and create folders and share those documents with people from that place, not as an attachment anymore. Now, the traditional way of sharing documents is always put an attachment to your mail and send it to people. You don't have to do that anymore. All you need to do is upload the file to OneDrive for Business, and then from there start sharing as just another link to that document. And the wonder is people can access this document, they can read and even edit the document, not only from their native applications like Word or Excel or PowerPoint, but also on the browser itself. People can edit the documents on the browser, and there is also something called as a co-authoring and a co-editing feature that is available in Office 365, which I'm going to show you a demo of, right? You know, how do you start?
Yeah, mail.
It's Adesh. So Vinu is playing the role of Adesh. I'm playing the role of Joan, and both of us are going to collaborate. Adesh has sent me a mail, which is an Excel workbook, all right. This was not a mail generated by him from his Outlook. He put that in OneDrive. This Excel book was put in OneDrive, and he has shared that with me. And here is this is the link to the Excel workbook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Excel workbook and see what happens. This is Excel Online, a part of Microsoft Office Online. There is also Word Online and PowerPoint Online available. It opens on the browser. And this workbook is available to me on the browser. It need not be always the Microsoft browser like Internet Explorer or the Edge browser, the latest one which is available in Windows 10. You can also use Firefox or Safari or Google Chrome, whatever you want. And you can access this Excel workbook. Now, what can be done here is I can also edit this workbook. Look at this. There is an option here to edit this workbook. And if I have Excel installed in my system, I can open it with Excel, or I can go ahead and start editing it using Excel Online. So I'm clicking on this, and Excel Online opens for me, and now I can edit. You see all those edit features that are available, right? I can edit this document on the browser. Now look at what can also be done. Like I told you, there can be a co-authoring that is available. I am John Robinson, and multiple new people are editing the workbook. Do you see this? Adesh V is also editing. And there are, see, this is where I am, and this is where Vinu is. All right, I can edit this document from any place. Now, while we are closely located here, it can happen from anywhere we are. So I can be in Bangalore, and Vinu can be in the US, and both of us can work on the same document at the same time, and we will be able to finish our activity very, very quickly, not waiting for each other to complete our work. We can work together on the same document at the same time, and the document gets saved in his OneDrive because he is the owner of that document. I can also download a copy of this and save it here locally, but in order to collaborate better, I would always prefer to do it online, and we will work together on the document at the same time, and we will accomplish whatever we want to do very, very quickly without waiting for each other opening and saving those documents. All right?
Yeah.
You want to add something, Vinu?
Yeah, you can see here, so when I'm changing something, I'm typing hello to, and see, you can see that it's a real time update is happening.
This is my system, and that is Vinu's system.
Yeah.
And the changes happen real time, immediately. As and when there is a change happening there in one of those cells, immediately I will see what is happening. And so this collaboration becomes very, very seamless, right? So this is the same with respect to Word and also PowerPoint, because there is also a PowerPoint Online that is available. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all of these contain this particular co-authoring and co-editing facility. Co-authoring is more than one person working on the same document. Need not be on at the same time, but co-editing is working on the same document at the same time. This is enabled by Office 365, the Office Online feature, right? Okay, so shall we move ahead, you know?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, live meeting.
Live meeting?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Version control, yes. Version control available for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, whatever documents we collaborate on. You can have various versions created and also detect what happened to any version that was created, who made what change, that can be tracked. You can also restore one of those versions in case you feel that the original document has lost its real value because of some kind of a weird happening that happened during the editing, you can restore another version to the latest version if you want, right?
Is any restriction in the Excel application? Suppose if you are sharing the Excel file
Yeah.
to multiple users,
Uh.
I want to give the restriction for a particular user because it should not editable.
You can either you can give a read permission or an edit permission. Two.
Because the same file they using by multiple people, right? So
I can share a document in either a read-only mode or an editable mode. So it can be 3 people having edit permission, 2 people really have only read permission. You can do that, right? Okay. I'm already logged into Skype. Let's go to my calendar. Now Skype is a wonderful feature that helps you to connect with people online, and there are many features that are very, very beneficial to the users, like it indicates your presence, whether you are available or not, right? Starting from there, helps you to identify whether you are online, whether you can be contacted, and from there on, you can move to an instant messaging session with people, one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. There can be an audio or a video conference that can happen from Skype, right? Skype for Business, it's called, because that comes as a bundled product with the Microsoft offerings in Office 365. And you can have ad hoc meetings conducted for people. You can also conduct scheduled meetings. I'm going to show you how that can be done. You can conduct a meeting for not only people internally, you can conduct the meeting where even external people can join the meeting from anywhere they are, through any device they have. Again, keep this in mind, anywhere, anytime, any device, any browser, right, and any mobile operating system, right. You have this flexibility. So people can join the meeting from anywhere they are. How do they join the meeting? I'm going to show you how that is done. Assume that I want to conduct a meeting on the 8th. I'm going to create a meeting invite, and I can create a Skype meeting for those people. Look at this. I'm going to just click on Skype meeting, and immediately you will see join Skype meeting, a link that is created there inside the meeting request. That's all. I can send this meeting request to people inside my organization as well as people outside. So it's not domain restricted. Okay. So this meeting request, to whoever it goes, if they have a Skype for Business installed in their systems, it will open through that application and help them to have a seamless experience. If they don't have Skype installed in their systems, it does not matter. They don't have to be subscribers to Office 365, right? All they require is a browser, that's all. Then this link is also required. So if they have this link, all they will do is just click on the link, and immediately it will connect them to the meeting from wherever they are. So think about joining a meeting from an airport. Think about joining a meeting while you are traveling in a car, not driving. Keep that in mind. All right. So you can join the meeting from anywhere and have a very, very seamless experience of connecting to the people in the meeting. And if it's through a browser, probably some of the features like your screen sharing and recording of the meeting are not possible. But the people who are using the Skype application, they will have seamless experience of sharing the desktops, right, during the meeting, recording the meetings, and all of those can happen. Recording meetings for people who miss the meeting and they want to probably rerun the meeting some other time, or even people who have already attended the meeting, they want to refresh what happened during the meeting, they can run through the whole meeting by recording the meeting. So this is also possible from Skype for Business. So this is something that I wanted to show you. Join Skype meeting is available. Look at what are the options that you can see when you're going to create this meeting request for people. right? People who don't have to wait in the lobby, right? Only me, people I invite from my company, anyone from my organization, or anyone don't have to wait in the lobby. Or who is the presenter? Anyone from my organization, or only me, or people I choose. I can choose any of these options. Disable instant messaging, mute all attendees, block attendees video. All of those can be set even before I send this invitation to people, and then I will click on send. Immediately this meeting invite goes to people that I intend to bring them into the meeting. So this is one other wonderful feature that is being used by a number of people to reduce travel. Like for example, there are HR people in some of the enterprises we know who conduct interviews, all right, remote interviews, and so onboarding of people is also possible through this Skype for Business meetings. And many people have reduced their travel, flight, all right, travels also, and settle for a wonderful Skype meeting online. And CIOs come together, the CXOs come together on Skype meetings, and from wherever they are, they take decisions. So this has enabled many enterprises to reduce a lot of traveling cost and other communication costs, right? So
RMS.
RMS. One moment, Vinu.
Yeah.
Here is a mail, and look at this. Since the number of devices that everybody starts using now has increased exponentially, I would say not any one of us still depend on only a desktop, correct? We use at least 3 devices, a desktop, a laptop, and at least 1 mobile phone, correct or not, right? There are people who go around with 2 and 3 mobile phones. So number of devices used by people is increasing day by day. So in order to protect the information that is being shared by people, right, files, right, more importantly, documents, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, images, whatever we want, these files need to be protected. And these files need to be protected wherever they are, whether they are, whether the document travels, that is dynamic, right, on the go, or also documents which are stationary, which is stored in systems. Okay. Now, how do you protect such documents? Right. The rights management services available from Microsoft helps you to do that. You can lock a document from being forwarded, or you can lock a mail from being forwarded or printed or whatever. Lock a document from being even opened or edited, all right, or copied or whatever. You can restrict all those into those documents. Set policies for those documents in such a way that those people who are given a right to open can open it, others cannot open it at all, whether it's going to be inside the organization or outside the organization. You can restrict people from opening documents or printing or editing documents. So I'm going to show you an example of how you're going to restrict people from one moment.
Oh, you close that.
What did I do?
Go to run.
One moment. And say I want to send this to Adesh, and I'm going to set a restriction of this mail not to be forwarded. Do not forward this, right? I'm going to send this. I have set a restriction of the mail not to be forwarded, and very soon Vinu will receive the mail. This is rights management services, information rights management, okay, available in Office 365. What happens is the policy that I invoked to the mail sticks to the mail. So wherever the mail goes, the policy also travels and gets activated at the place where it is being consumed. Think about this, Excel or Word or PowerPoint, even those documents can be locked with such kind of a policy. So when it lands in a place where people have access to my file, they can open the file only if they have a permission to do that. All right, because the document has got this policy tied to it. And so I, as the person who has invoked that policy, all right, have sent this policy along with the document. And so at the consumption side, the policy gets activated. Have you received the mail?
Yeah, I received the email. So as soon as I click on that, you can see here, do not forward. Recipient can read this message but cannot forward, print or copy content. So if I try to select this content and try to say right click, you can see here there is no copy option, it's disabled. And also you can notice here the forward option is disabled. However, I can do the reply, but I cannot modify the content, right? And even I cannot take a snipping tool. Using the snipping, I am trying to take the screenshot. You can see that Windows has prevented this snip from the captured.
So much restriction gets applied to the mail that I have sent to Adesh. Okay. You can't take a screenshot. Come on.
It's an old clipboard, so you are not able to see the latest one. You can see here, this is the old one. So even the screenshot is getting blocked. I'm taking the fresh screenshot, control. The word. It's an old clipboard.
It is not this content.
Yeah, this content is different, you can see here.
But does it apply this restriction on Android or any other system?
Anywhere, sir.
Because previously, in my experience, I mean, this feature to lock, do not forward has been there for a long time.
Yes.
But when I used to get it on my BlackBerry, I could, copy it on my BlackBerry.
Okay, which is not possible now.
Yeah, now there's an app called Outlook app. Through that, all these rights been honored in any platform, Android, iOS, or any platform.
We are going to show you that also, right?
Yeah.
We will show that also with respect to the mobility part, right? Encryption.
The word part you want to show.
Okay, locking.
User-wise.
Okay. I'm opening a Word document. So this is my project report. Let's say I want to lock this file so that it cannot be accessed by unauthorized people. I can give a read permission to say Ramesh. I can give a change permission to Adesh. I can also go ahead and choose what other permissions that I want to give or restrict, right? Then I say OK. Now you see access to this document has been restricted to certain people. That's all. So when this document is being shared with others, the policy that I have invoked here travels with the document, and when Adesh receives it, he will be able to edit and do everything. When Ramesh receives it, he will be able to view the document only. Others, when they receive it, they cannot even open the document. All right? Because it will check for the validity of the user, find out whether the user has got permission in that file, and if the person who has received the file has permission, it will open for him. If not, it will not open for him. So much of security that can be built into documents and mails, where mobility is the mantra everywhere in an enterprise. All right. So let's go to message encryption.
Yeah.
You are sending me a mail, right?
Yeah. So I'll send out an email and put a keyword saying that encrypted, so that my server will understand that this message has to be encrypted.
Now, it need not be always that word. You can also specify more words, terms, saying if a mail contains such and such a term, immediately encrypt this mail. Right? So the mail immediately checks for those terms, and if those terms are found in the mail, immediately the system encrypts this mail and it sends it to the receiver, right, the recipient.
What if I wanted to use that word otherwise, like encrypted is a word, for example?
Yeah.
I may be required to use for some other purpose in my email. How will it differentiate?
That's the reason we have used in the colon. So it can be some unique letter you can identify. This is the one which I chosen. You can identify and put dollar something, or which need to be notified to the user that whenever you want to do encryption, you put this keyword. It's not the system defined one, it's a modified, user defined.
So you teach, you educate your end users saying, if you want this mail to be encrypted, use this particular term. You can add a special character if you want to that word and say, if you want to encrypt, use this special character, right?
Sorry?
Outlook.
Right. Yeah, so this will be processed in the Exchange server side, not in the client side. So it's irrespective of which platform you are into, whether it's sending email from the mobile devices or any it doesn't matter. No, it's any platform anywhere.
Okay, so look at this. You have received an encrypted message from so and so. So to view your message, save the message attachment and follow the instructions, right? Okay. So sign in using the email address. What do I do now?
Yeah, open that attachment.
Open this. This one is it?
Yeah.
Message. Now it's asking me, what do you want to do? I can sign in with my credentials, or I can go ask for a one-time passcode. So use a one-time passcode. A passcode comes to you.
No, you will.
To my
Yeah. Your email, John.
to my
yeah.
email, is it? Okay. There is a one-time passcode. Here is the passcode.
last one.
One moment. So that mail which was encrypted now opens for me on the browser. So what happens is the recipient of the mail gets this mail, and so there is a technology in Azure which helps the user to make use of that particular Azure platform to open this document in a very, very safe manner. All right, and so here is the mail that I am able to open. So if the mail was received by somebody else, all right, then those people cannot open the mail. It gets encrypted all the while. To decrypt that mail, I need that passcode, which is possible only when I have an authorized mail coming into my system. All right. So that is another level of security that is built into the Office 365 users' mails. Right. Okay. Data leak prevention.
Yeah.
There is a data leak prevention option that is available for Office 365 users, where enterprises can define what kind of data need to be stopped from being shared with people, like credit card information, like your passport, like probably some of the product specifications, right, which will be in a given structure all the time. So people, the admins can go and start populating what kind of structure the data needs to be checked in the mail before the mail is being sent. Now, like for example, here is an employee number detail, and it has been mentioned that the employee number should not be shared with others. So what you see here is this message can't be sent because it appears to contain sensitive information. It's something like this again when it comes to your credit card information, right? When you type in your credit card number, immediately it says you are sharing an information that is restricted by your enterprise from being shared with others, right? So this is data leak prevention. Currently, there are few templates that are automatically enabled, like credit card information, like Aadhaar card information for India, right? But people also can go ahead and start adding more templates in order to prevent confidential information from being leaked outside the system.
Yeah, so here you can see there are two options. So you can see here, either I can override with by giving a business justification saying that I want to send out right away. But what happens is the mail will go out. However, the admin will get one incident report saying that this user has been overridden using so much of reason. Otherwise, if I click on straight away send, then I will get a NDR message. Okay. So it clearly says that until the sensitive information is not removed, I cannot send. But I can do an override. I have business reason, justification.
So this is recorded in the system. So what happens is the next time there is an audit happening, why was this data shared? So there is a reason behind this data being shared. So that is the business justification that gets recorded and can be audited afterwards, right? Come again?
Credit card information you have written, it will be scanned. So if it is template, will scan for the images. If I have
Not images, but readable files. Like if it's in your Word document or PDF file, it can read.
Okay.
So for offline reading, can the attachments be stored offline?
The attachments,
Yeah, or it will always
like I told you.
mail as a link only.
Okay. Now, like I told you, the policies that are being enforced on documents stick to the document. So wherever they are stored or wherever they are being sent, it always goes along with it.
Can there be an expiry date?
Yeah, you can set an expiry date also saying beyond which date this is not accessible at all. That's where the other options came in, more options, right? you can set a time bomb for a document, right? Right, so let me close this browser. We wanted to show you two more, but I don't know whether it would be possible. Now, Vinu?
Yeah, we can. MFA.
Yeah, but I don't know whether the connectivity continues.
We can try.
Look at that, the connection has been lost. So, two things we wanted to show you. Let me tell you what we wanted to show you. Not possible now, sorry. Multi-factor authentication. That is, say, I am an employee in an organization who keeps moving all the time. I'm a mobile employee, right? So I use many devices, not just my own device. It can be a device in an internet parlor. It can be a device in an airport, right? And I want to log in and access my information, mails or documents or OneDrive documents, right? You saw that. Now, OneDrive or my mails can be accessed from anywhere, any device. So with that freedom in place, I go and log into a system. What happens is there is all possibility that the device, my credentials are compromised in that device. So what happens is the next time somebody else logs in, there is all possibility that my information is accessible by them. To prevent such thing happening, what we can do is we can switch on a multi-factor authentication and find out whether the person who is logging into the system is the one who has the right to go into this Office 365 system at all. So there can be many other ways, one of which is sending you a one-time passcode, like how you would do for a banking transaction, right? A one-time passcode like this. You will receive a passcode, an SMS into your mobile device, and use that one-time passcode to log into Office 365 and have access to it. And once you log off, that's all. The next time you want to log in again, you will require another one-time passcode so that your credentials are not compromised afterwards, right? So that is multi-factor authentication. We also wanted to show you one more, which was mobile application management that is available from Microsoft as the Enterprise Mobility Suite, right? Where you can restrict people from sharing information other than what has been already allowed in terms of applications in a mobile device. Like for example, my mobile device has got Outlook, and I can configure 2 or 3 Outlook profiles in my mobile device, right? So when I configure Office 365 mails in my Outlook and also a Gmail in my Outlook, I can access both. But when I am accessing my officially approved mails from Office 365 in Outlook, I cannot copy or do anything with the data that I have in that application and move it to a third-party application like Gmail, right? It's containerized in the sense I can access all those applications that my company has approved in that container and keep using familiar tools like Word, Excel or PowerPoint that are already approved inside Office 365. Now I don't have to go for another learning curve in using a different kind of a word processor or a worksheet manager, all right? You can make use of your familiar tools, Word or Excel or PowerPoint, and make use of all those applications that are approved by your enterprise. You can restrict all the data into that container, not move anything from that container to a third-party application outside that container at all. So that is another very, very important feature that many enterprises would want, because many people want to make use of their own devices, right? Not a company approved device. But using their device, they can access their own applications, their own personal applications also, apart from what the office has approved, right? Your enterprise, your company has approved. In that case, you need to keep the enterprise content safe and not compromise it with a third-party application. So that's where this mobile application management comes into place. And
yeah, let me see if I can showcase a couple of things. So this is my official email. You can see I am trying to do a screenshot. Okay, now it has come as connection offline. Okay. So you can see you are unable to capture the screen. You can see unable to capture the screen DRM protected image because this is my official email. However, if I switch back to my desktop or any other personal application, you can see here I can take a screenshot. So saving the screenshot, you can see the desktop's been, screenshot been captured. This is my desktop. And if I want to copy a content, let me see, connection loss. I'm selecting the content remote app and trying to copy. I copied. Now let me see if I can paste it into my personal app. I'm getting the paste option, but the content is not pasted. However, if I move to any of my official application, say I have browser installed. This is my official browser. If I try to paste here, you can see it's coming.
It gets pasted. So only applications that are approved by the company can be accessed inside this container. The data can be moved between these applications that are approved, and it cannot be moved out of the container at all, right?
So the advantage of the experience, end user experience, you are not degrading the end user experience. They can access their own application without any restrictions. However, when they get into the official apps, the restrictions are followed. They cannot exchange the data, they cannot copy. However, within the apps, within the official apps like Excel, PowerPoint, all these official apps, they can exchange the data. And even the whatever the attachment you are sending, so that also will honor this restriction. So you cannot take the screenshot or you cannot copy the content.
So that brings us to the end of the demo. Wonderful listeners, you've been very, very patient to spend some time with us during this demo. I'll hand over the time to Ed.
Thanks, Bright. I'm sure that was a very useful set of demos. A lot of food for thought from that in terms of how the ways in which you can, because Word and PowerPoint and Excel, it can be part of any other application that you may build around it, and how you are going to protect it in this online world is very important, and we just saw various ways of doing that. So from that point of view, I'm sure it was very useful. So now let's go on to the panel discussion. I will call on the panelists one by one, but before that again, sorry, I'll just give you a brief intro. When we look at the enterprise mobility space, there are a few challenges I have identified. I mean, there are many challenges. I have identified 3-4 of them, which we will use as part of the panel discussion. And these challenges are, challenges usually are like, the two sides of a coin. I mean, one side is a challenge, the other side is the opportunity. And that is very true of enterprise mobility. So one of the first challenges is to be able to create new mobile-driven business processes. All of us are used to handling business processes in a particular way. But mobile actually calls us to redefine some of the processes, maybe create some new processes. And that comes across as a challenge because it is actually an intellectual challenge first to be able to redesign a process because you want to mobile enable it. But that redefinition holds the key to the transformation potential. Like we are talking about, e-governance. There are so many government-related applications which are nothing but the automation of existing processes, which possibly yields only a 10%, 20% incremental benefit in terms of being able to do things faster and being able to do things without manual intervention. But then if we redesign the process, that is when, a totally new value proposition comes in. So creating new mobile-driven business processes, that's the first challenge. And that challenge holds the key to the great opportunity that and power that will get unleashed if you are able to handle that challenge. Directly related to that is the ability to define new business models on the basis of these new mobile-enabled processes. And then, of course, we have the third point, which is the tussle between, the old IT and the new IT, the tussle between, policy and control versus freedom in the context of the enterprise. What can we allow? What can we not allow? Which takes us to stuff like BYOD and, management of mobile devices. And so that's the kind of landscape we have. So we will touch upon some of these areas in the panel discussion. And I'm very happy that I have got a very august set of panelists here. Diverse, only 4 people, but then a lot of diversity. There are 2 organizations which are new age organizations. There is one organization which is an older organization, public sector undertaking. And then, of course, we have Quadra, which has been helping companies implement some of these things. So let me first call upon Soumya. She heads strategy and new initiatives at Medif Technologies. It's a medical imaging systems company. I will ask each of the panelists to give a brief on their company when they start off. So Soumya, please. We have Mr. Amit Goel. He is the co-founder and enterprise sales head with a company called as Blue Birch Technologies. Blue Birch is an IT asset management company, and it's a fascinating story. We were just talking before the event. It is a very fascinating business, and I'm sure Amit will, relate more to that. Amit. I hope we have Mr. M.M. Joshi. I know. Sorry about that. It is not, we realized the mistake later. I'm really apologetic about that. Mr. M.M. Joshi, he is the General Manager of Information Systems at Bharat Electronics Limited. Please. And I would also like to call upon Bright to join us on the panel. Okay, so as part of my briefing to the panelists, we just did that, a few minutes before the start of the program today. I wanted to keep it very simple, very intuitive, very straightforward. So the framework has to be very simple. I am a stickler for simplicity. In my earlier introduction, I mentioned that, the when part and the why part of enterprise mobility, those are questions that you should not be asking. And please don't ask it otherwise also. So we have tackled the why part and the when part. The why is, there's no reason why not. And the when part is, we are already overdue. So let's go on in this panel discussion to look at the what part and the how part. And these are the 2 key areas that are that pose as the challenges that I mentioned before. Deciding on what to take up as part of your mobility, enterprise mobility initiative is a real challenge for companies. That is where I mentioned the intellectual challenge that comes in. You need to identify the real what of enterprise mobility, and it may not be one area. It may be 5 areas. It may be connected, but whatever it is, you need to you cannot just because the technologies are available, because everybody has got a mobile phone, and it is pretty simple to develop a mobile app. You just try to find out, oh, what am I going to develop? Oh, let me try to develop this. Let me try to develop that. But we need to have a sound backing about, we need to have a sound logic for what we're going to do. So that's the what part, the what part. And then this thing is how. The how is, it's a very broad canvas. That is when we talk about managing mobile devices and creating the right kind of backend, creating the right kind of application sourcing and methodology and all of those things. We'll not go into all the details, but then, so it's the what and the how part. And as I mentioned, we have eminent set of panelists here. So I would, in the first round, I would like to ask each one of them to briefly describe, about their organization and their current footprint as far as mobility is concerned, both what they do within their organization as well as what do they do for their clients, whichever is applicable. Let's start with the lady.
Hello, can you hear me? Great. So thanks for having me.
You all need not, I'm sorry, I do not have space there and even if I would have been sitting, I would have required a lot of space. So you need not crane your neck to look at me. You can look at them and just listen to me.
Sure. So I'm Soumya. I head strategy and new initiatives for this organization called MedIF Technologies. What we've done as part of MedIF over the last 8 years is basically, we are in the business of storing patient information and making it available for doctors anywhere and anytime, right? By this, we squarely fall into the paradigm of enterprise mobility. Why we intended to get into this space was because of the acute shortage of radiologists and specialist care way back in 2007, 2008. And unfortunately, the numbers haven't changed much today either. However, we've built a technology landscape where we have about 300 hospitals and 800 sites, imaging centers, diagnostic centers, connected as part of our network, servicing doctors and patients and improving radiology efficiency overall. So that's the space I'm in.
Hi, everybody. This is Amit Goel. As Ed has already told, I'm one of the founders for Blue Birch. Now, Blue Birch is a very different kind of an organization. I come from an IT background myself, but so what Blue Birch is into is IT reverse logistics. So what we do is we help organizations monetize the customer returns, decommissioned assets, excess inventories, etc. We don't necessarily take it ourselves, but we provide a kind of a platform for all those who have these excess inventories or decommissioned assets like old servers, laptops, desktops, etc. To monetize that through grading, inspection, sorting, and a lot of those things. In the enterprise space, actually, a lot of our work is making organizations mobile through the hardware side of it. Now, we spoke about a few challenges, and one of them definitely is like we saw in Chennai recently, where there was shortage of power and all that. So companies had set up a lot of small offices around where there was power available. We helped them get to that stage by having all the right infrastructure in place for that. So yeah.
I'm M.M. Joshi. My organization, Bharat Electronics Limited, is a basically Government of India undertaking under Defense, Ministry of Defense. And it has got 9 units and corporate office at Bangalore. And all the job, what we are doing is, we are designing, developing, and manufacturing all professional defense electronics products, starting from small components to radar systems, all network-centric command and control systems, missile systems, and night vision equipments. So all whatever is satisfying to the defense users. And second major project is our EVMs, electronic voting machines, which are used in all the elections. We are one of the major suppliers of electronic voting machines. Then one of the major things what we are doing now is the command and control system for all the three forces, Air Force, Army, Navy. And the future wars, they will not be fought on the battlefield, it will be fought in the boardrooms. All decision support systems, getting all the information from battlefield, taking decisions in boardrooms, all will be controlled in the future through these systems. That is one of the major areas which is a C4I systems. For Navy, we are doing combat management systems and integrated command and control systems. So this is our basically profile. And we have a single data center in Bangalore with a DR site in Chennai, where we have implemented the integrated ERP solution. And all the units are all connected to a single data center. And all the, everything starting from the customer inquiry to the dispatch of all the things, billing, all accounts, everything is there on the HR, is all on the ERP. So one of the major concerns when we talked about the mobility and the productivity, improving productivity, one of the major things in improving the productivity is the cutting down the non-productive time. The movement time of the people should not move, whatever can be minimized, and that is going to enhance productivity. And enterprise mobility is one of the major things, tools to achieve that. And today with this thing, though we have so much quite advanced now, but still there are some challenges, as some of the challenges were mentioned. The connectivity of the networks in many areas remains still a gray area, like all optical fiber networks, all whatever backbone networks are there to support that, and even the towers for the accessing mobile information, that sufficient number has to come up, though there has been a very advanced progress in the last few years. But still we have to reach to a very higher level where we can depend upon totally on these things. Second thing is the security. Like the organization where we are there, the defense forces, the very sensitive information is there. And even some mobiles are not allowed for all the people in general. Only the senior people are being allowed the mobile. Nobody can work on same internet PC and internet PC. They have to be physically separate. Total LAN and internet LAN has to be separate. So that type of restrictions are there because of security. Because they believe if the physically it is separated, then only it is secure. So under those constraints, it is there. But for all our suppliers, for all our customers, we are trying to give them maximum through enterprise mobility. All our procurement information, when we are raising anything, tenders and all these things through e-procurement in systems, ERP systems, the messages will be flashed on suppliers' mobiles, all those things. So that integration type of thing we are doing. And for office management, all these things we are using. Otherwise, we can only restrict ourselves to private clouds. We cannot go to a public cloud.
Okay. Hello, I'm Bright. You've seen me on stage. So, Quadra Systems, we are providing support services and products as well on the infrastructure side of information technology for enterprises in the south, at least, in Bangalore, in Chennai, in Coimbatore, and elsewhere in the southern region. And we've been in the business for about 12 years now, 13 years. And we've been recognized by Microsoft every year for the past 12 years for the solutions that we have been providing to our customers on the global stage. So we have about 32 global awards in our kitty and 22 national awards so far for the solutions that we have provided to our customers with respect to their IT infrastructure. Now, talking about mails, talking about documents, talking about sharing of information among people, right? Talking about helping them to access information from anywhere they are, protecting their information using security solutions, right? Backing up their information, providing a disaster recovery solution. These are some of the things that we have involved ourselves in providing such kind of services to our customers. And lately, after the cloud has started gaining ground all over, we have started giving the enterprises this advantage of the cloud by providing them mobility, providing them access to their office, which is people and information and documents and whatever, all of those from wherever they are through any device. So again, like Mr. Joshi said, security might have been a big concern all this while, but then moving to the cloud, I would say, is one of the most secure ways of protecting your data, because even in data centers that people think have great protection in terms of power or in terms of manual breach of security, office information cannot be guaranteed unless you have standards in place. So there are security standards, compliances that the enterprises need to follow in line, and all of those are being taken care by the cloud service providers, more importantly, Microsoft. In fact, Microsoft has got about 40 such certifications from independent agencies being certified as the secure platform for sharing information, whether it's going to be their web application or mobile application, or whether it's going to be other productivity applications like MS Office that we've been showcasing this evening. So we have been providing this advantage to enterprises. To give you two examples. One is about a pharmaceutical company that has moved to the cloud very, very lately. There are about 6,000 plus users, and they acquired 2,500 seats of a company, right, very, very lately, and they've merged together. Last week, when there was big floods in Chennai, the CIO, I spoke to him, and he said, all this while we were very, very afraid of how we would provide connectivity to people, but after we have moved to the cloud, this big burden is off our shoulders, and people never felt that there was a flood in Chennai, because all our office information, mails and documents were all available to them all the time from everywhere. If they had depended on a data center that was built locally in Chennai, then they should have had a blackout. But thankfully to the cloud technology, they continued their business without a break. Another example of a flight service provider, right, an airways company, which is coming up very, very quickly, right? They have opted for the enterprise mobility suite, and this they opted because they wanted to give freedom to all the users in their organization, whether it's pilots or the crew, right, on board or in the regional offices. They want to give the power of mobility to everybody. Their office is in Hyderabad, but they operate from Delhi and Chennai, and people keep moving everywhere. So what happened was they wanted to give the power of mobility to their users, and they have chosen the enterprise mobility suite from from Microsoft. So those examples might probably give you a different view of how cloud enables people to give freedom to their their staff in order that they can move around freely but still have access from anywhere.
Thanks. So in your, this is for Soumya, in your medical, imaging business, or, sharing medical information to doctors, so it is something like, you are actually untangling, a huge area, which was earlier, done through systems that had set protocols, EMRs and all of those things. So what were some of the challenges or pain points, and how was it handled when you actually sort of commoditized this particular area?
Sure. So the challenges were many, as you just cited. So if I had to break it down, right, given our customer was doctors predominantly when we started, and there are two kinds of doctors. You have radiologists and you have physicians, right? And the challenges to cater to each are different. However, for us, our solution catered to radiologists in particular, because they were the guys who were actually studying the images, making the reports, and then sending it back to physicians. So the challenge was greater when it came to catering to radiologists, simply because the data security, the image and the study quality, the resolution of the images, and the accuracy of the diagnosis was paramount. We could not go wrong there, right? And the size of the images relatively can range from 50 MB to about a gig, right? And the modalities I'm talking about over here are not just X-rays and ultrasounds, it's CT scans, MRIs, right? Those are very big and heavy files to transmit. Even across within the hospital, you know, you need to be on a very well-connected WAN to actually transmit these images. So usually, you know, the big players, and it used to be a very expensive foreign equipment that used to come from the West. And it used to be in crores of money just to get the equipment and the monitors to read the images. So the disruption that we made over here was we actually used streaming engines and some compression and decompression algorithms to actually read images across low bandwidth, which was one of the main problems in India, right? And the compression algorithms that we built were basically to ensure zero data loss, right? So those were two big things that we sort of sorted out to begin with. So data security, we had to build in encryption algorithms. For the resolution, we had to build in compression and decompression algorithms. And from a transmission point of view, we had to have a way, we had to basically cater to bandwidths, ranging from 10 kbps at that time to now it's a lot better, right, with data cards, etc. And we also had to build in reporting functionality. At that point in time, everything was on paper. So you take the scan, it was all film-based. So, the scan will come, then someone will make a paper report, then the diagnosis will happen. In case of an emergency case, the entire best case scenario used to be a total turnaround time of 40 minutes. You take the scan, there's an accident, you do a scan, by the time the report comes back and a diagnosis is made, it used to take about 40 minutes. We brought that entire time down to 10 minutes by automating the entire workflow and enabling image access and reporting access via mobiles, tablets and laptops at that time. And one of the major inventions that came to our rescue was all radiologists in hospitals at that time used to use high-grade monitors, which used to cost around 7 lakhs per monitor. With the invention of Apple and Mac and iPads, the resolution quality was actually FDA approved, which was actually at par with those high-grade. And there was a business case even for the hospitals internally in India to actually replace their PCs and hard box equipments and replace it with iPads, right? So that worked to our advantage, and we eventually could bring that cost down significantly from crores of rupees to lakhs. So our equipment initially was anywhere in the range of 10 to 80 lakhs, depending on the configuration and the functionality that they required.
Right. So this is a fantastic example of the right business case. Their entire company is founded on that case. Right business case, right kind of processes, new processes developed, new business model, and you have that business going on for about 8 years, and it is so relevant to the society and the industry.
I would just like to add one more business case. So that was for a standalone emergency center or a hospital. Then with the advent of chain of hospitals coming into India, like Apollo's and the Columbia Asia, when we connected these hospital chains, we realized a potential efficiency improvement of 50% when it came to radiologists and making them more efficient. This 50% efficiency was then extended beyond these chain of hospitals to other hospitals. And today our penetration is actually about 70% in tier 2 and tier 3 cities in terms of reach of radiologists.
Wonderful. So Amit, in your case, how does enterprise mobility play out?
Okay. So I'll give a brief example first from one of our experiences. I mean, we all have bought from Amazons and Flipkarts, all these companies. One of the key issue they face, which is to the amount of 12% in the space of mobile phones, was the frauds coming in. And I mean, the companies didn't know what to do. Most of them still don't, but we are working with them. So one of the things we realized, we created an app, enterprise app, which you can run on a mobile and find out if it is the same IMEI number, has any part been changed, and it's all automated that we have done from apps. The other issue we faced were twofold. First is, how do you put that app on the phone that a customer has who is returning this? And second, I mean, how do you get the report in time to take a decision in front of the customer itself? That is it, do we need to pick it up or not, or what has to be done with that? So what we did, we thought differently. I mean, we tried several things, and we have now put it on a SIM card, that application. All the person has to go, he need not be educated to find is the phone real, fake. He just has to look at accessories himself. But you just have to plug in that SIM card into the phone. An auto app runs on the phone, deletes itself, creates a report where one copy is put on the cloud and another is put locally on that SIM card itself. Now that has given us a lot of mileage in the market, and the frauds have come down drastically. So this is just an example that how mobile we have become today. I mean, you don't even need a phone now to be mobile. Just a SIM card was enough, which you can put in any phone and do what you want. So that is one. And then, the recent Chennai ones that we saw, I just spoke about it. I mean, I was amazed to see companies like Barclays, JP Morgan Chase, which are typical financial organizations. I mean, they have everything, mobile today. All they needed was a place where there is power, and they were good to go. So they went about with all the these five-star hotels, which were guaranteeing power availability, took them the entire hotels on rent, and the entire force was working. I mean, they said we could have done it from home as well, but there was no guarantee of power there. So there are certain challenges we still have in this space. We saw the connectivity part today, where we had to stop in between, or the power. But in our space, I mean, I work very closely with a lot of startups who are working in this space, because startups don't want to put in too much money into hardware. And we provide it almost like 20% of the cost, considering that we get used and refurbish those assets. So I'm amazed to see the entire thought process today is around being mobile, being agile, no servers, nothing, So that has been a big difference, in my opinion. I mean, when we started, it was all about mainframes.
Right.
So a long way from there.
So, Mr. Joshi, in an organization like, BEL, you just, gave us a picture about what IT you have. What are the kind of enterprise mobility possibilities or opportunities, are you chasing? And I mean, obviously, the nature of your business might not require your customers to have apps on their on their mobile phones, but still internally, if you look at various productivity applications hold a lot of promise, and various business-to-business applications also hold a lot of promise. So, what are some of the kind of areas that you're looking at?
The basic areas, because inside the plant we have to be very secure, and we cannot compromise on these things. But when we interact with the customers, or we interact with suppliers, or OEMs, who are the TOT suppliers, any foreign collaborators, the major one of this thing we are getting is the video conferencing with them, because a lot of time this to reduce time, travel time, and going there, which is not possible. It's very expensive. So this is one of the major areas where we are able to exploit mobiles. The second one is that whenever we want to in the procurement, any information we want to send to suppliers, so we can transmit all the information from our ERP system to the suppliers networks. So that doesn't take any time. It is very productive for us, and it reduces the cycle time of total our procurement to a very high level. So these are the two areas. But then we are now coming with some new areas which are under the security framework, whatever we can implement. But the options are limited for us because being in this thing. But there are many other areas which we can like now the Digital India is coming, and in fact we are coming with some of the products like micro ATM, which is going to be integrated with food ration shops and all across the food ration shops in the country. So these experiments have been already made, where all this information, Aadhaar information will be linked, any checks can be made through that, and how much is the eligibility of the person as per that, and it will be issued to the person, eligible person. So in those applications now we are coming where the public is involved. So we have public distribution system, there we are going to enable all this enterprise mobility. And but one of the areas which needs to be revamped is the performance tuning of the applications. Because today when you are doing on mobile, the performance of system is not good, application is not working satisfactorily. Because you can write the application, but unless it performs well to the satisfaction of the users, people will stop using it. So that is one of the areas which needs a concern. So we see that some developments are being taken with and second is the bandwidth requirements. Now many places subsequently the Wi-Fi and other connections are not available. When we go to a basement anywhere, things don't work. So these are some of the challenges which we'll have to overcome.
So do you allow external devices in your organization to be used?
External devices inside for general use we don't allow, but for senior management, for the office management, plus all the mailing system outside, like when the people are outside, that time we are allowing. So those applications are there. Then for all the suppliers, information network is on the mobiles and outside the factory. Inside we are not allowing. Inside we only for the limited people only we are allowing. Because as per the in all the defense places across the country, even you cannot take a camera mobile inside. Even in all the forces and this thing network, only the ordinary without camera mobile is allowed. So that is the limitation which in the defense network it is to be used.
I get a feeling that
but like for a Bell has got a hospital. There, all the doctors are using this, all the things like in the medical field, people are using all the things, record, they write and they send, and all those things, medicines are issued. So there, wherever we are finding, we don't require that much security and all these things for that purpose. As the defense forces need it, so we are implementing the things.
Yeah, Bright, for an organization like BEL, with the kind of restrictions that they have, what would you suggest that, they can do different, obviously keeping in mind the kind of strict, security regulations and, the nature of the industry and all of those secrecy and all of those things. Do you think that there are things that they can do more on this front?
Certainly, yes. On the demo that we showed you, and a small part that we didn't show you, which is mobile application management. There is also something called as the mobile device management. Again, that is available from many vendors. More importantly, Microsoft has come up with its own offering of mobile device management, where you allow people to bring their devices, right, inside the enterprises, but still restrict them from using some of the features like you can switch off the camera of a mobile device even if it is being carried inside the office. You can switch off some of the applications, all right, so that they don't access them when they are inside the company. And depending on where they are going to use this mobile device. You can restrict access to such kind of features from the mobile devices, and allow also people to make use of the devices for other functions than what are being restricted. So mobile device management, whitelisting of devices, devices that are supplied by the company automatically can be whitelisted, and devices that people would want to bring in, the BYOD kind of an environment, we can whitelist those devices saying these and these are the devices that can be used, and these and these are devices that cannot be. So whitelisting and blacklisting of devices, whitelisting and blacklisting of even applications can be done. In the sense, you can say a particular device can access mails, but it cannot access other data sources. So such kind of granular restrictions can also be made with respect to the devices that people would use. So the mobile device management capabilities are, the technology behind this is improving day by day. And so it does not restrict itself to one kind of a device. It's applicable to all devices that have that run various kind of operating systems in them, whether it's Android or iOS or the Windows OS. Everything can be brought under control, giving say a sense of freedom to people who are using it, and a sense of security to people who allow it to use.
In fact, when he talked about the security in building in the mobile devices, in fact, Bharat Electronics itself has made a secured phone, which is very different from the commercial phone, which will be hardened OS and all the tamper-proof features for the forces.
Any questions from the audience here?
Yeah, this question actually regarding this mobile device means Mr. Joshi told about private cloud, and private cloud is more better than public cloud. So when we're talking about private cloud, that is totally secure, means our network, our structure, whatever we did our MPLS cloud based or our own IP based, it is not beyond to this thing. But my doubt or whatever I saw in the network, so whenever we are talking about client side, client to server side, so definitely we can secure our systems to not providing internet. So sir told already, okay, we can provide only our applications, not beyond our application to internet. But how we can block when we are giving the mobile phones, that is totally internet enabled, which is beyond our means our limit. Who is the service providers like Airtel, Aircell, and those are we are depending day by day. How we can provide means protect that time, means we are not giving the VPN connectivity. Beyond VPN connectivities, if we are connecting VPN, that is okay. But how we can protect them? That is my question. What is the action we are taking for that?
No, that is what he mentioned about the mobile device management, right?
Yeah, that is okay. Mobile device. I am talking about the internet perspectives. That is already crashing, right? Internet is coming to the device.
So if I may take that, if you look at Ola and Uber today, okay, you go to the airports now, and you will not. I mean, you can open that application. Everything else works on your phone, even though you are just in that region. But the access to these apps is blocked now. I mean, until you are a certain distance from the airport, this is something that has been done. So technology has advanced a lot. Now you can actually block features on somebody's phone who doesn't even have an application just by controlling the network they are in. So that has already progressed to a lot of this thing. And this is something that can be extrapolated further, in my opinion, for, for defense and other areas, where you can do selective blocking of features of the phone or apps that are working on those phones. So
talking about internet on mobile, means internet access, how the protects, because we are our application when talking to servers and other things, from mobile to email. It is means traveling from internet, right? How we can protect? Because mobile devices.
No, no.
it
Are
is
you
not
saying
having,
that just because it is traveling through internet,
yeah,
it is inherently insecure?
Definitely, yes. I am talking about that thing. Because
People are,
different
they have
things.
got internet enabled mobile things
Yes,
with them.
yes.
Anything can be transmitted from there.
Transferred there. That is my question.
That challenge, how we are going to.
Yes.
Okay. What we missed during the demo, this question comes there. What can be done is you can control the mobile devices from accessing any kind of an application, like what Mr. Amit said, right? When it comes to the internet, right, you can also go granular into what sites are whitelisted and say only these sites can be accessed in devices, right? That also is possible, and whitelisting of such sites and saying everything else is blacklisted will help you to say keep the devices in control from accessing the internet.
Actually, whereas these devices has made our life very productive, and all the time anything anywhere we can on WhatsApp we can take a snapshot, send, and everything within seconds everything is transmitted. But at the same time it has a breach of security also sometimes. So how we are going to do it, of course, is a challenge. We have to find the whitelisting and other things, how we can do it. Even in the defense forces, suppose we don't want certain thing to come from China, we are making in the whitelisting and banning that information. So it is, at the first level in the entering into network itself, it filters out. Anything coming from China, the traffic is rejected. So many things are there where, that technology will enable that, all those things. So projects are there today.
We have technology currently, and bringing that into force is something that the service providers are working on.
Like when we wanted to implement, that ERP and this, at the same time we implemented all core modules when we wanted to go for CRM and this procurement module outside, for the connecting to outside world. Then this issue came, how to connect it. So there are ways, which did, we have to study, because you see now NIC and Electronic Commission and all these things also, they had same restrictions. Now they have overcome that. Now they have got only one network. But so far the defense, people are not satisfied with that. So still, they require something more to it. But with the so many multi-factor, authentication coming into picture, now everything is being transacted, full banking and full, the money is being, transmitted through this. So that is the most sensitive thing, But so that on those lines only this are to be built,
I think that's all we have the time for. I hope it was a useful discussion. I thought it was great in terms of really getting to know some innovative ways of using enterprise mobility. Thanks a lot, all the panelists. It was a real pleasure to host you here on the panel. And before we split for cocktail and dinner, I would just request you all to fill up the feedback form. It really helps us to, get your feedback so that we can improve our program and production and the subsequent events. So thanks a lot. I invite you now for cocktail and dinner. Have a great evening. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.